Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. As we look over the past 15 seasons, I would be remiss if we didn't bring back Mr. Nayyir Sharif. He joined the show in season 4, and initially when we had our initial conversations, I was thinking I want him on the show, but where can I put him? Where can I put him? And so he thought I was blowing him off initially when I said let's talk in a week. But I was trying to figure it out, and I still didn't know. But we ended up getting on the phone and we were talking through it, and I was like, he'd be perfect for Hot Topics. And not only did he do Hot Topics, but he also did a lot with helping to rebrand the Stephen Knight Show. And so I'm so grateful to bring back my brother, Mr. Nayyir. Welcome back to the show.
Man, I never left.
You never left. No.
I definitely take that. I have been away,
but doing great things. You know what I mean?
Trying. Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So take me back to because you reached out to me, and we went to school together. People don't know we went to Virginia State University together, home of the Trojans, and knew each other. Then we always bonded well, and then as we got older, social media, of course. And actually did a song together. We did a song together in 2013. And
let you
go. And then you reached out saying, what's going on with the show? So tell me what you remember from that time.
It was an exciting time. And if I freeze up, please pardon me. I hope my voice still carries through if I freeze up. We're in two different parts of the world, but yeah, it was an exciting time. I was doing music. You were doing music. We also still had careers as well. We were doing music. We had careers. So, I don't know, just a really exciting time. And I, like you said, I always had a great connection with you. Artistically, we always had a great connection, but also just, as bros, we had a really good connection. I remember when we met at Virginia State. I remember how we would have these conversations, just, haphazardly out of the yard. I don't know, man, you know how you come across some people that are just really familiar?
Right.
And that's just what it was with us. We just clicked. Never, ever any ill feelings about it.
No.
And that's rare. We've known each other for a long time.
A long time.
And it's always been that same vibe.
Yeah.
But when I reached out, I remember kind of being in that space where I always wanted to align myself with other creatives, other good energy, other people who were just doing, beautiful things. I had never done a podcast or a show. Or, I liked what you had going on, man. It was consistent. The branding was nice. It was tight. And you were just consistent more than anything. And I felt like you had a really good product, and I aligned. I was a fan. So more than me wanting to be a part of the show, I was a fan of the show.
Yeah.
And naturally, I just kind of wanted to connect and see if there was anything possible.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I thought it was just be Hot Topics, but I mean, you and you won't play with me. So listen, you want to do it, you got to do this. You need to do this. You need to do that. And the thing about you is you're a nice guy in general, but you're also business savvy. You know what I mean? So when you talk about business, you like, Stephen, you need to do this. And I remember it was hard for me initially because I was used to, I am a control freak by nature, but having that control, but realizing for myself, if you want to take the show to the next level, you have to relinquish some of that control. And so I remember when I sent you all the passwords and usernames for all of our stuff, I was like, but I felt good about it because one, like you said, we've never had I've never had any ill feelings towards you. And you're always just a cool guy, always just a great guy. And so, and you did it. You rebrand, you got us a bank account, all those things, that people don't think about when they're doing business. And so, yeah. But I was, it was interesting. So in Hot Topics, you always had like people for the most part would be agreeing, and you're like, well, if I think about it this way, And I remember people say, "Who was that guy?" When you first joined, they would ask me, people that listen, "Who was that guy? Who was that guy?" Um, talk about your experience being on Hot Topic panel, and the topics we discussed, and kind of just having that banter with the rest of the co.
I appreciate that experience. I wanted to be a part of the show, and I didn't know how, just like you didn't know how.
Mm-hmm.
But we settled on Hot Topics, and
Yeah.
I loved it, and it was scary and uncomfortable. That's not naturally a public conversation for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are not naturally public spaces for me. So it was always, I was always, on pins and needles with Hot Topics because
Really?
yeah,
No.
yeah, it was a lot of anxiety for me around it because I knew once my thoughts were out there, they were out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were out there for not just, my partners, they was out there for whoever was tuned in, and
Mm-hmm.
for years to come. So
Yeah.
it was always a very sensitive space for me, but I loved it because it grew me as well.
Mm.
It made me stand by my thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It made me stand by it in a very, whatever they may be, however they may fall.
Mm.
And also, I had to be open to other people's ideas and
Yeah.
criticism of mine if there was any. But also, just kind of taking in other perspectives as well. It was a great experience for me to grow more of a side of myself that I didn't necessarily know was there.
Yeah. And it was interesting because one thing I always loved, like throughout the celebrity interviews and guests we had on the show, I always loved Hot Topics because I loved hearing different perspectives. And like you said, and you had your own thoughts, and then you hear someone else say, "Oh, I never thought of it that way." You know what I mean? And that's one thing I always like about it when we had those Hot Topics discussions. Was there ever a time that you regretted saying something?
I haven't, no, not necessarily. I might have made some mistakes in my ideas and clarity. I might have made some mistakes in maturity, but no, I never really. I don't think there's anything that I've regretted.
Hmm.
Again, I would have to listen back to years worth of
Yeah.
commentary. I'm sure there's some things I wish I maybe would have kept to myself, but or have done a better job at phrasing. But ultimately, no, I don't mean any harm.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't mean any harm. And if my words have been offensive or harmful, I'm the first. If someone lets me know, I'd be the
Yeah.
first one to have the discussion and apology ready. And then if there's something I need to make right, I want to work on that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
regret is not a big thing I live with. It's just something I figure is a part of our self development.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Over the years, Janera got married, had a baby. Adam got married. You got married, had a baby.
Yes.
How do you feel like, obviously a lot happens in 15 years, for you, 11 years. What are some of the highlights that have happened since being on the show? Like just personally that you want to share?
Yeah, marriage. I picked up, biological son and some bonus children.
Mhm.
Continued development and growth.
Yeah.
Um, Hot Topics. It was formed around a family of like-minded individuals. We have a very similar experience. It's not the same,
Yeah.
but
Right.
we all have very similar backgrounds as artists, as minorities in America, as just difference makers in our own
Yeah.
community circles. We're often looked at as the ones that are a little bit different or unique in our circles. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a family bond that we all shared. I mean,
Yeah.
you can put us up against any other group of podcasters or hosts, and there is a difference.
Yeah.
There is a
Absolutely.
difference. Even without all the fanfare, the big marketing dollars, the huge sponsors, there's still a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I value that. So throughout the years, that's also been a big part of my life, just kind of walking with pride in that. I
Yeah.
love people to know that I was a part of the Stephen Knight Show when they find out or discover that from a Google search or something. I wish I could have been more involved. But yeah, definitely a lot of changes in our lives individually, but also being proud of the growth of the show, being proud of you, man. You know, you're gonna get flowers for years to come for the amount of work you put in, for the people you brought together, for the perspectives you brought forth, for the ideas you put into people's minds to change themselves, to change the world. There's just so many flowers. You know, you employed us in a way that a lot of us hadn't been employed. Really changed a lot of our lives as well, man. So, you know, kudos to you, Stephen. And I thank you for that. I thank you for coming back for me. Even though I make the call, you were there willing to answer it. You came back for me, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, you were always someone I wanted to work with. I remember the first time we were going to work together was on a remix of the song I had known the rights. And I said, I'm gonna come up with something. I'm gonna come up with something. I never forget. I was in the studio recording "Let You Go," and I said, "This is the song." And I reached out to you. And I remember I sent you over the reference, and then I was literally driving home from Georgia to Virginia, and you had sent back the your part, and I was like. And I forwarded to the producer. He was like, "This is dope." And you were like, "It's not placed right. It's not placed right." And remember, I was going back and forth. And then you said, "That's it." And we knew it there. I said, "That was it. That was it." And then, but even you know, with the Stephen Knight show, always knew. Like when you said, I was like, "Yes, absolutely." But I was like, "Okay, how?" But I'm so glad in that moment, we were able to think through it and ended up being something great. Something great. Yeah. So you've over the course of being on the show, you've traveled and lived abroad. How are those experiences? How has that enlightened you or added to you to your self development, living in those different parts of the world?
Yeah, you're right. I have lived abroad. I've lived mostly in Asia, Southeast Asia, for off and on since 2016. This last stretch, I haven't been home. When I just came home, that was my first time in about 3 years.
Wow.
Then I've been back and forth, but yeah, I'm continuing to evolve, continuing to gain perspective of things to be grateful for, and where I'm going. Continuing to hone in on that. And you know, in America, man, we think we got it made there, and in a lot of ways we do. But then there are so many other ways that we absolutely don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a traveler yourself. You travel, so I know you see the things that we got, you know, going good for us, and then there's a lot of simple things that we're not getting it right.
Right. Yeah.
So that continues to make me look inside myself and figure out what I really should be grateful for, what's really important to me, and how I can take that back to my circle and try to impart those ideas at least into their lives as well.
Yeah, I'll never forget when I just graduated from state. I ran into this woman through work, and she was retired. She was 60 years old. She's a beautiful woman. I couldn't believe when she told me she was 60, but her husband was retired military. And she said to me, "If you do nothing else in this life, travel the world." She said, "Because it will change your perspective, what you think you thought you already knew." And she was right. She was absolutely right. She was right.
That was probably one of the best investments I ever made, was a passport.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's next for you? What do you want the people to know?
What's next is I'm really trying my best to follow my spiritual journey, follow it through. We all got to go.
Yeah,
we all got to go. We know that's coming.
Yeah,
I am doing my best to prepare myself for my spiritual system, for how that looks upon my time, for myself and my salvation, but not only that, for the people whose lives I'm a part of and touch. I don't want to be the guy who's up out of here and all I got left was a wardrobe. You know what I mean?
Right.
I really want to plant some seeds that'll hopefully continue to plant some trees in the next life for me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's next for me. I'm continuing to build into my spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And what I would want the world to know about me and about that is, one, the Stephen Knight Show is a part of that for me. It has been a part of that for me, as well as anything good that we put on the table. I'd encourage people to take that and internalize it and spread it. Anything that might not be so good, leave it where it's at. Know that we all were doing our best and our intentions were pure as gold.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, I have to thank you. You know, you gave my flowers. I have to give you your flowers. You know, you've been a consistent person in my life. You know, we don't talk every day, but every time we do talk, it's like, oh my God, my brother, he's doing such great things. I'm so proud of you. And thank you so much for how you influenced and kind of changed the landscape of the Stephen Knight Show. You know, I'm grateful for every co-host, past and present, but anyone that just contribute, you know, and supported the show, and you did in such a major way. So thank you for being part of the show, and thank you. That's all I can say.
Same. Again, we can do this all day, and we will
Yeah.
over text messages like we normally do. But
Yeah.
yeah, even I'm grateful. I'm grateful, man. To you and to everything that you put on it. You left it all out there on the table, man. You know, you put your heart in this, your time, your soul, your spirit, your sweat, blood, and tears. It's all there. It's all there. And I know you're sharing this with the world, and you probably already shared what's next for you. But on the call with me, what is it that you would like the world to know about the Stephen Knight Show's legacy as you go to your next chapter?
You know, it's interesting. So in talking to, you know, you have everyone, we all have our own individual thoughts of what the show did and what it meant to people. But in talking to all the co-hosts, I think everyone got something different from it. You know, for Miss Parker, it was about the charitable work that we did. You know, she feels like that's the legacy. For me, I feel like the legacy, it definitely is in the charitable work, but also in having conversations. You know what I mean? And you know, we've talked about everything from religion to dating, relationships, interracial relationships, to interviewing all types of people. I mean, there was this father. He had reached out his son when he was 19. He had gone to Chicago on a school trip, and he never heard from him again. And so he came on the show to tell the story about his son. At this point, would have been 26 at that point. And a few years later, he emailed us to let us know that he was writing a book about his son, and he was including the interview he did Stephen A. Show on the book, and he wanted to let us know that. And so you never know. One thing I've learned: you never know who's watching. You never know who you're inspiring or who you're touching. And so that's why I try to be intentional with the things that I do. You know what I mean? But it's also good when you hear from others who are part of what you're doing. So for me, you know, I'm gonna work on some new music. I have a t-shirt apparel line out, JDK Design, which is James, Donna, my parents, Knight, JDK Design, and you know, I feel like that this is the time to close this chapter, but definitely more to come. You know, in the future. So I'm at peace with the decision, and I feel like my mom always said, you know, you made the right decision when you have a peace with it, and I do. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Again, this is just, you know, a rollover to the new chapter.
Absolutely. Listen, Nayyir, thank you so much again for being part of this final episode of Stephen Knight Show. And we'll be right back with our final thoughts right back after this.